Okay, Happy New Year. Here we are. So, I'm going to call this video, it's mostly about a flip, but generally all these things that we call swing flaws that we're trying to fix. I think the mistake in labeling things a flip, a pull, over the top, early extension, all these things, is that then your body becomes confused, like, well, that seems like the perfectly natural movement, so now I'm supposed to not do that movement, and then what is the movement? How do I even understand that? So I think this all comes out of an idea that the golf swing is something we're doing with our body that's making the club do something. And I think the reality is the club is doing its own thing, and we just have to figure out how to get ourselves in a place where it does its own thing in the right time frame. So if you look at a flip, we'll just deal with that one. If you look at a flip, if you just start swinging a club, the flip, releasing the club, if I just stand here and swing back and forth and let it hit the ground. I'm about in a standard golf stance here, and my club is bottoming out right here, which is typical, right? That's what most people are doing. So let's not try to fix that. So how would I fix that? That's just what the club does. That's the relationship of my arms, the club terminating, this weight wanting to extend. It just happens right there. So, okay, I don't need to change that. That's going to happen. What if I just, as step one, we'll just do that motion. But now, what if I just move myself a little farther forward before that motion happens? Okay. Now, I still have something of a flip, I guess, but now I'm bottoming right about here. So that's the bottom of my swing. And I know that I want to get the bottom of my swing really more out here. So, but that's partway there, so that's good. Same motion. Shift a little more, then rotate. Shift a little more, then rotate. Let's see, what else could I do? Well, what if I rotate later as well? So shift, keep my shoulders closed longer, and then rotate. So let's try that one. Well, that works. So then now I'm right here. I like that. Right, so I did two things. Shifted, and then didn't open my shoulders as soon. And now, what if I do those two and keep turning more all the way through? So, there, shift, keep my shoulders closed, rotate more through the ball. So, that one was actually a little over the top, so I'm watching my club face, so I didn't stay closed long enough. There, that was a pretty good one. And I'm just delaying that. And now, one more aspect. What if I sort of ride down first? So now, this initial of this club does not start its release because I'm moving with it. So I'm going to shift and also move down with the club, still keep my shoulders closed, so, and then all the other aspects. So let's try that. And there we go. Now I've got my release right out about here. So again, let's go through that again. And you're going to want to teach yourself these steps to not fix your flip. You're not fixing your flip. You're just taking that natural release motion and moving it through a series of steps just later and later into your swing. So go through them again. So the first one is just feel how the club naturally releases. You don't want to mess with that. You don't want to hold it back or do anything different. You want to have a natural release of the club. Then you want to start shifting forward to move that release forward a little bit. Then you want to keep your shoulders this way just a little longer to let that release happen a little later. And then you want to glide down into this area, just delay the release a little longer, still doing all the other parts. And then you're going to go through the ball. And if you want to work with your trainer, so the advantage of the trainer, and I think this is always true, so when I'm doing this, if I have a club, I can actually get the feedback of when does it hit the ground. So that's important. Tactile feedback is much better than a visual idea. A visual idea is often deceptive, and the fact is you can barely see what's happening from where you're standing in a golf swing. I can see this little area here. I can see sort of the blur of the club in terms of which path it's taking. I can't see what the face is doing. It's too subtle, right? I can't see any of those things. So really all I've got is the path I'm coming through. I can't see how high and low it is. I can't see any of those aspects. So all of that you have to learn through feel. So if you take your trainer now, and this is how you're going to learn the feel. So put the weight a little more in this hand, which is to just drop this shoulder. And we'll go through that same series of steps. So just feel where it releases. This will be a much stronger pulling sensation. So what you're attuning to is how much pull do you feel. What you want to learn to feel is very little pull until you get out here. And the pull is the moment of release. So I'm going to shift a little now. Now I'm going to keep my shoulders closed a little longer. And now I'm going to float all the way down and release out there. So float down, release out there. So that's the series of steps. And feel where it is by where you feel the pull happen. And then take that force and keep going around with it. So don't pull and then be done. Take that feeling of the pull and extend it around you. So again, same thing with the club. Do the steps one more time. So feel the natural release motion. Move it a little forward. Delay the shoulders. And then drop into the space. And move through it, and then finally drop into the space, move through it, and turn all the way through.